Good evening, Professor. This is Raman Deepika. I'm going to present the topic global mortality rate in front of you, and we are like sixth group number six. Let me run my presentation. In this presentation, we're gonna explain everything about client project, team overview, then project status, project phase, weekly status reports, what we covered till now, challenges, project cost, and recommendations. So this is my team. Myself, Raman Deepika. I'm the manager. Then Amandeep Kaur, who is a business analyst, and she's graduate in electronics. Then Amritpal Singh, who is data analyst, and done bachelor's in mathematics. So about the project, our project is all about based on global mortality rate. Uh, we gonna analyze the death rates and those that analysis can be used by analysts for to understand how a population is aging, what cause of death are most common in population, and how death rates have changed over time. We are covered pretty much till 2022, and we will cover incidents by sex, age, country, and so on. We will provide insight into a new and a better understanding of a mortality, like preventable and treatable mortality. Project objectives. As per the project objectives, we will examine the incidence based on the different countries, area, sex, age, and cause of death. We will examine preventable mortality and treatable mortality. Based on the report, we will try to develop a campaign and awareness program for both mortality rates. So, status, if I talk about status, we are pretty much on the track because we are doing really well. We just left with the dashboarding, so we are on track. About our client, Rick Lamproff is our client and who is working in a Canadian health ministry, and he is responsible for administrating the healthcare system in the Canadian province of Ontario. Communication media, we communicating through MS Team, Google Meet, phone conversation, and in person as well. So we already covered like nine to 10 weeks for this project, and I'm gonna show you what we covered very much in these weeks. So according to the SharePoint link, we already created dashboard, MRP task lists, minutes of meeting, action items, and timesheet. Let me jump to our SharePoint link. So this is our basically SharePoint link, and this is our home screen for global mortality rate, and this is our project dashboard. We already included everything in our dashboard, quick links for timesheet, minutes of meeting, action item. We add the detail for our client, and then weekly reports of progress, then MRP proposal, chart list, and we already included Excel sheets for our budgeted our MRP task list, then budgeted our as a in like visual, and then we will create all the events here, and this is our MRP task list. This is our MRP task list. Then we are maintaining action items, minutes of meetings, timesheets, and we are doing also one thing. We are maintaining documentation as well. We already created different kind of folders for every phase and every documentation. We are storing all the documents in particular folder. As in initialization phase, we already added our proposal and project charter in the particular document, in the particular folder actually. So in second workflow, I'm the manager, but we also dealing with the data analyst, and this portion of the presentation will be explained by Amritpal Singh. Thank you so much.
Myself, Amritpal Singh. I am working as a data analyst in this project. So, firstly, I started with the work that I have done in this till date. So, this is the Python. This is Python code that I have done. That firstly I have done data cleaning that I will show in my Jupyter notebook. So this is the data I have who.csv that I load in Jupyter notebook. After that I find null values so that there is lots of null value in that dataset. So also I check in that way. Also I created a heat map to show null values. So this a standardized death rate per 1 lakh standard population is highest null values as we can see in heat map. So then I drop the null values. Then I delete the column that have most of the null values. So one issue that we don't have vertices column in that. So in the next a week, so our main motive is to aggregate dataset in the Jupyter notebook because that thread is not mentioned, that reason is not mentioned. So this is Python code that aggregation. So there are basically 5 other CSV files. So then we merge that together by using Python code. So this is the we can get to see this here. After that I find null values. So then I delete the null values and the most of the null values in a standardized that rate for 1 lakh standard population column. So I done that. To that I drop null values. This is a clean data set. We can also show through heat map. Then I save it as a clean data.csv in my computer. Uh, Also in next week I created visuals using Python. I will show. So before creating visuals I also deleted some rows that don't have like unknown values. So after that I created with some visuals. So this is the visual. On x-axis there is disease and on y-axis there is death rate per 1 lakh population, and we can clearly see that the isomeric heart diseases has highest number of cause for the death. Also we can see that through visual that United States have highest number of death rates. So on x-axis there is number of death and on y-axis there is countries, and there is also another visual. On x-axis there is age categories and on y-axis death rate per 1 lakh population. So we can see that age group above 85 plus has most of number of death, and list is 0 and 1 by 4 1 to 4. There are list. It's gradually increasing as a person get old. Death rate is increasing. Also after that we have done predictive models. This is correlation matrix. This is linear and decision tree. This is our like clustering. So I will show that in my Jupyter notebook. So firstly I read my CSV file, and then I created correlation matrix. A darker the this color, more correlated to each other. Like 0.6 is more correlated to this. Like number is more correlated to death rate per 1 lakh population. Also this 0.76. You can also see a percentage of cause specific death out of total death is more correlated to death rate per 1 lakh population. So this is like our linear regression model. On x-axis there is HL value and on y-axis predictive values. And this is for decision tree visual. And this is also a linear regression. I show in a different way. There is a linear line like this way. And this is our clustering model. And I choose on x-axis is death rate per 1 lakh population and y-axis cause specific death out of total. And this is two way to show the clustering. I choose six clusters in that. And next there is also, but there is a different. On x-axis there is number and on y-axis there is death rate per 1 lakh population. So this is our the work, and the next part will be discussed by my colleague Amandeep Kaur.
Hello Professor, myself Amandeep Kaur, and in this project working as a business analyst. Now here I am going to explain about the workflow 7 visuals. We are choosing charts for the dashboard and we have created some prototype for our visuals. The very first one is for death by sex and age group, in which y-axis represents the death count and the x-axis represents the age group. Main elements in this column chart are age group, death counts and gender. Second visual for the compare death rate by countries. This is a line chart which compares the death rate by countries. As you can see on our x-axis, we have years with respect to the all countries. Visual 3 is a world map to compare the death rate by countries due to the cause of death. Now I'm going to explain about our dummy visuals which we have done in a Power BI. This is a live demonstration of our dummy visuals. We are going to represent our final visuals at the time of final presentation. The very first dummy visual is top 10 countries by the total number of deaths, in which Y represents the sum of number of deaths and the X represents the country name. As you can see, United States of America has some more sum of number of deaths as compared to the other countries, and France has the least number of deaths as compared to the other countries. Second visual. This visual represents the total number of deaths by age group and disease. As you can see, in the x-axis we have age groups, and these color blocks represents the diseases, in which the blue represents the pulmonary disease, dark blue represents the diabetes, orange represents the heart disease, purple represents the lower respiratory infections, and the pink represents the stroke. And we can see the people with the age group of 85 plus has more number of deaths due to the cause of disease. Third visual. For the total number of deaths by year and disease. This line chart represents the total number of deaths by year and disease. As you can see, we have total number of deaths for the several years due to all types of diseases from 1950, then 1951, 55, 68 and so on till 2020. Our last dummy visual is a pie chart visual for the total number of deaths by disease. As you can see, this orange one, heart disease, has the more sum of number of deaths as compared to the other diseases, and the diabetes has the least one. We are going to represent our final visuals at the time of final presentation. Here are some challenges and issues. Challenges while cleaning the dataset, as there is no column in the dataset which indicates of the death. If we were trying to remove the null values according to the particular attribute present in the dataset, it might remove all significant sets of the records. We're finding the best model to implement the predictive analysis. We were unable to do the analysis in Jupyter Notebook. We were searched more on predictive analysis. We have watched videos on YouTube and tried to understand them, find the best suitable predictive analysis model for the project, and also how to use heat map correctly. As you can see, we have the project cost slide in which left side of mine has represent the budget in dollars by project phase and the right side of mine represents the budget hours. Upcoming tasks will create a dashboard using Tableau and Power BI as per the client requirement and will update the SharePoint accordingly. Solution for the challenges as per the MRP task list was not populated properly, will update the action items accordingly. Results will gather relevant data from our clients' data using Excel and Power BI. These are some current recommendations. Thank you.